Be quiet and act like you have nothing to lose. Seneca once said, "It's not because things are difficult that we do not dare, it's because we do not dare that they are difficult." What if you could silence the noise around you, stop letting the opinions of others weigh you down, and start living boldly as if you have nothing to lose? In today's video, we'll explore the power of quiet strength, letting go of fear, and embracing the mindset that allows you to act with clarity and purpose in the modern world. Stick around until the end, because these stoic lessons will help you unlock a more confident, resilient version of yourself. How do you stay grounded in tough times? Share your thoughts below. One, stop caring about external opinions. In life, particularly as men navigating our 40s, 50s and 60s, the pressure to conform to societal expectations and seek validation from others can become overwhelming. It's natural to wonder if we're measuring up, whether it's in our careers, relationships, or simply in how others perceive us. But as Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." The philosophy of Stoicism urges us to release ourselves from the grip of external judgments. When you consistently seek validation from others, you're placing the key to your peace of mind in someone else's hands. People who might not even understand or care about your personal journey. Consider how liberating it would be to stop worrying about what others think, to stop measuring your worth through their eyes, and instead focus on your own sense of purpose. Imagine you're at a crossroads in your career. Perhaps you're considering a shift or retirement, but you're held back by the fear of what colleagues or family might say. Stoicism teaches that this stress is unnecessary and that peace comes from within, not from outside approval. One powerful example of this is in how we often worry about maintaining appearances or meeting the expectations of those around us, especially as we age. But here's the truth: their opinions won't change the essence of who you are or the value of your experiences. The next time you feel weighed down by others' opinions, think of Epictetus's words. "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." By embracing this mindset, you allow yourself to stand firm in your own convictions, regardless of the noise surrounding you. Think about your daily life. How many times do you hesitate to act or speak up because you fear judgment? Whether it's voicing a new idea at work or pursuing a long-held dream, the fear of external disapproval can trap you in a cycle of inaction. But Stoicism teaches that the only person you need to answer to is yourself. Your worth isn't tied to what others think, and once you accept that, you can act with quiet strength and confidence. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get lost in comparison, especially with social media constantly showing us curated images of success. But remember, as Seneca said, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. The moment you stop caring about the opinions of others, you free yourself from an imaginary burden that you've been carrying for too long. Many of us are transitioning into new phases of life, retirement, shifting family dynamics, or even redefining what success means. It's easy to feel like we're being judged for not being where we should be. But the truth is, the only person who can truly evaluate your life is you. Marcus Aurelius, in his reflections on Stoicism, constantly reminds us that external praise or criticism doesn't add or detract from the intrinsic value of who we are. It is our own inner voice, guided by virtue and reason, that should dictate our actions. When you let go of external judgments, you're able to focus on what truly matters. your own growth, your relationships, and living a life of meaning. This is where Stoic resilience comes into play. In the same way that the Stoics advise us to control what is within our power and accept what is not, we must realize that others' opinions fall outside our control. They are simply noise. As Epictetus wisely stated, "Whoever is going to listen to their own will, let them be deaf to the opinions of others." This shift in mindset is vital for personal growth, especially at this stage in life. It allows you to move through challenges with grace and inner peace, no longer weighed down by the judgment or approval of those around you. Think of it this way: when you're focused on what others think, you're giving away your personal freedom. But when you focus inward, aligning your actions with your own values and virtues, you regain control over your own life. Take the highly successful entrepreneur who suddenly quits their corporate job to pursue a lifelong passion for writing or painting. To the outside world, this might seem like a step backward, but for that individual, it's a path to inner fulfillment. They've stopped caring about external validation, recognizing that their life is theirs to live, not something to be dictated by others' expectations. This mindset doesn't just apply to career decisions, but to all aspects of life. In relationships, for example, we often seek validation through approval or affection from our partners, but real strength comes from being content with who we are, independently of how others view us. This doesn't mean we become indifferent or aloof, but rather that we find peace in knowing our worth is not determined by others. In this light, acting as if you have nothing to lose becomes a powerful tool. When you stop seeking external validation, you're free to pursue your goals and dreams without fear. Whether it's starting a new business, finally taking that trip you've been putting off, or even speaking up for what you believe in, living with this stoic confidence allows you to embrace life's challenges head-on. As you move forward, keep in mind the words of Marcus Aurelius from his Meditations. "The opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if none of them know anything about the subject." This wisdom can serve as a guide in navigating a world that often feels obsessed with surface-level opinions and fleeting trends. Ultimately, the Stoic approach to external opinions is about reclaiming your inner power. The sooner you stop worrying about what others think, the sooner you can start living authentically, fully embracing the life that aligns with your values and principles. And in the end, isn't that what we're all searching for? To live a life that, when looked back upon, was truly our own. So remember, your worth is not determined by others. It's determined by the strength of your character, your actions, and the peace you find within yourself. This is the timeless wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and Stoicism, a guiding light in the modern world. Two, quiet strength. Quiet strength is one of the most powerful virtues a person can cultivate, especially in a world that constantly encourages loudness and the need for validation. When we talk about acting with quiet strength, we are referring to the ability to remain calm, grounded, and centered, even when others are criticizing or challenging us. This is not about weakness or passivity. Rather, it is about choosing not to waste energy on defending every action or reacting to every slight. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, famously said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." This quote perfectly captures the essence of quiet strength. It's about resisting the urge to react out of anger or defensiveness, and instead holding fast to your own values and principles. How often do you find yourself in situations where someone's words or actions provoke you, and the first instinct is to react impulsively or to justify yourself? We live in a time where it seems everyone has an opinion, and the pressure to respond to every comment, criticism, or judgment can feel overwhelming. But Stoicism teaches us a different path, one where silence can be stronger than words, and where measured, thoughtful action can be more impactful than emotional reactions. This approach not only helps you maintain your composure, but also allows you to see situations more clearly, without the cloud of emotion. In today's world, staying grounded in the face of criticism is an increasingly rare quality, but it's one that sets you apart. Think of the last time someone criticized your work, your ideas, or even your personal choices. Did you feel the urge to immediately jump in and defend yourself? Many people do. However, responding impulsively often leads to more frustration and can pull you into a cycle of argument and stress. By practicing quiet strength, you learn to let go of the need to justify yourself, and in doing so, you remain in control of your emotions. It's about focusing on what you can control, your actions, your responses, rather than being swayed by external forces like the opinions of others. A great example of this in modern life can be seen in high-stress environments like corporate workplaces. Imagine an executive who is under constant pressure to perform, always in the spotlight, and often criticized or second-guessed by others. Now, imagine that same executive practicing quiet strength, choosing not to respond to every critique, but instead calmly assessing each situation and focusing on their work, their goals, and their values. Over time, people begin to respect that person not for their loudness or quick reactions, but for their steady, unwavering presence. This kind of strength earns respect because it's rare and because it demonstrates a mastery of one's emotions. It shows that the person isn't easily rattled and that their actions are driven by purpose rather than the need to be right or to prove something to others. But this isn't just about corporate life. This lesson applies to relationships, friendships, and even day-to-day interactions with strangers. When you're at peace with yourself and your values, you don't feel the need to constantly defend or explain yourself. You're able to choose when and how to respond, if at all, and this gives you a sense of freedom that many people don't have. A calm, quiet strength speaks volumes and often commands more respect than the loudest voice in the room. Seneca, another revered Stoic philosopher, once said, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." In other words, if you don't have a clear sense of your own direction, it's easy to get caught up in every little thing that comes your way, including criticism. But when you know your path and your purpose, external distractions like criticism lose their power over you. Now think about how this applies to your life. When was the last time you felt pressured to react or justify yourself in the face of criticism? Did responding help you, or did it only add more stress? Imagine instead practicing quiet strength, taking a deep breath, staying composed, and not letting the noise around you dictate your actions. This doesn't mean avoiding confrontation or being passive. It means choosing your battles wisely and reacting only when it serves a greater purpose, rather than out of impulsiveness or pride. By doing so, you maintain control over your emotions and your energy, and this gives you a significant advantage, not only in conflicts, but also in everyday life. You conserve your mental energy for what truly matters, your growth, your goals, and your well-being. In the end, the lesson of quiet strength is simple yet profound. You don't need to respond to everything, and sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. By mastering this, you can navigate life with greater ease, remain true to your values, and maintain a sense of inner peace, even in the face of adversity. So the next time someone criticizes or challenges you, ask yourself, do I need to react, or can I stand firm in my quiet strength and let my actions speak for themselves? This shift in mindset can bring clarity and a deeper sense of control, helping you act not out of emotion, but with intention and purpose. After all, as Marcus Aurelius teaches us, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Let your quiet strength be the way you navigate through life's challenges, allowing you to rise above and remain grounded in the process. Three, freedom from fear of failure. One of the greatest barriers to personal progress is the fear of failure. This fear often stems from a deeply ingrained belief that failure defines us, reducing our worth and exposing us to judgment from others. However, Stoicism teaches that failure is not something to be feared. It is a natural and necessary part of life's journey. When we learn to embrace failure, not as a final destination but as a stepping stone to growth, we free ourselves from the chains that keep us in a state of inertia. As Epictetus wisely said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." If you approach life with the mindset that there is nothing to lose, you open up a world of possibilities. This shift in thinking empowers you to take action, pursue your dreams, and stand by your convictions without the weight of fear dragging you down. In modern life, where success is often measured by external metrics like wealth, status, and recognition, the fear of failure can feel overwhelming. Many of us are conditioned to avoid taking risks, settling instead for what feels safe, even when that path leaves us unfulfilled. Yet the Stoics remind us that true freedom lies in our ability to act without the paralyzing fear of what might go wrong. The Stoic belief that we control how we respond to life's challenges can be liberating. It teaches us to act with courage and intention, knowing that setbacks are part of the process, not the end of the road. This mindset of acting with nothing to lose can be applied in all areas of life. Whether you're facing a career change, stepping into a new relationship, or chasing a long-held dream. By removing the fear of failure, you become free to experiment, learn, and grow without constantly worrying about how others perceive you. We live in an era where the pressure to be perfect is magnified by social media, peer expectations, and the fast pace of modern life. But Stoicism offers a counterbalance to this pressure. It reminds us that our value isn't tied to the outcome of our endeavors, but rather to the effort and intention we put behind them. When we focus on what we can control, our actions, our reactions, our mindset, failure loses its sting. In your own life, ask yourself, how many times have you hesitated to take a bold step forward because you feared it wouldn't work out? Perhaps you've held back from starting that business you've always dreamed of, or you've shied away from speaking your mind in important situations because of what others might think. The Stoics would encourage you to reconsider these moments and to act with the knowledge that the only thing you have to lose is the false belief that failure diminishes you. Seneca once remarked, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Often our fears are amplified in our minds, becoming much larger than they truly are. But once we face them head-on, we realize that they are manageable, even inconsequential." Modern life, with its uncertainties and ever-evolving challenges, requires us to adopt a stoic resilience. By focusing on what we can control, by accepting failure as a learning tool rather than a personal shortcoming, we position ourselves for growth and deeper satisfaction. The next time you are faced with a situation where failure seems likely, remember the words of Epictetus, "No great thing is created suddenly." Growth takes time, and every failure brings with it an opportunity to improve. Instead of shrinking back from fear, embrace the process of trial and error. This approach frees you to make decisions with boldness, clarity, and an unwavering commitment to your principles. Furthermore, consider how this approach can reshape your relationships, your career, and your personal fulfillment. For example, in relationships, we often fear vulnerability because we associate it with the possibility of rejection or misunderstanding. However, the Stoic perspective teaches us to focus on the authenticity of our actions rather than the outcome. In being vulnerable and open, we strengthen our connections with others, knowing that the value of our relationships lies not in how they are received, but in the honesty with which we engage them. This same principle applies in the workplace. Many of us hesitate to take risks or propose new ideas because we fear judgment from our colleagues or superiors. But if we act as though we have nothing to lose, we unlock creative potential, innovation, and the possibility of significant professional growth. Ultimately, living as if you have nothing to lose doesn't mean being reckless or ignoring the consequences of your actions. Rather, it's about adopting a mindset of fearlessness, where the fear of failure no longer dictates your decisions. It is about recognizing that true growth comes not from avoiding failure, but from embracing it as a teacher. As you move through life, try to adopt this Stoic mindset. Act with purpose, live according to your values, and trust that the lessons you learn from your failures are far more valuable than any temporary success. By doing so, you'll find that life becomes richer, more fulfilling, and far less burdened by the weight of what others think or what might go wrong. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. In embracing the Stoic lesson of living without the fear of failure, you empower yourself to step into each day with courage and clarity. By understanding that setbacks are part of the process, and by shifting your focus from the fear of failure to the pursuit of meaningful action, you align with a life of purpose and resilience. Stoicism teaches us to embrace the present moment, to act with conviction, and to see every challenge as an opportunity to grow. And in doing so, you will discover the freedom that comes from living as though you have nothing to lose. Four, silence and reflection. In Stoicism, the power of silence and reflection is held in high regard. For men in their later stages of life, this practice is not just a tool for personal growth, but a key to unlocking wisdom and understanding. The ancient Stoics understood that in silence, we find the space to think more clearly and to respond rather than react. When we take the time to listen deeply to others and to ourselves, we foster clarity and strengthen our decision-making processes. As the Stoic philosopher Zeno of Citium once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should listen more than we speak." This principle still holds true today. By choosing to listen more, we not only gain insight into the world around us, but also into our own internal dialogue, helping us become more thoughtful and intentional in our actions. In today's fast-paced, noisy world, where opinions are constantly being broadcast, the art of silence has become more valuable than ever. It is in this space of silence that we can truly absorb information, reflect on our values, and respond with purpose rather than impulse. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and a well-known Stoic, reminds us in his Meditations, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In silence, we gain the perspective needed to turn obstacles into opportunities. When you resist the urge to immediately speak or react, you allow yourself the chance to observe situations more deeply and gather the wisdom needed to make better decisions. This practice of silence and reflection isn't about withdrawing from life or avoiding confrontation. Instead, it's about cultivating the patience to let your mind process information clearly before taking action. In the workplace, for example, This might mean holding back from offering immediate opinions during a heated meeting, allowing you to analyze the situation with a calm mind before speaking up. This silence can give you a strategic advantage, as others will often reveal more about their thoughts, and you, in turn, can respond in a way that commands respect. People are drawn to those who speak with intention and thoughtfulness, and this kind of presence often results in stronger professional relationships and more effective leadership. In your personal life, particularly in relationships with family and friends, silence allows you to be a better listener. As you listen more, you gain a deeper understanding of the needs, desires, and emotions of those around you, leading to more meaningful connections and trust. Stoicism teaches us that we should not be quick to speak simply to fill the void of silence, but rather to ensure that our words add value. A modern example of this can be seen in the way successful individuals, such as seasoned leaders, often maintain an air of quiet composure in challenging moments. Their ability to pause, reflect, and then respond allows them to navigate difficult situations with a clear head and confident decision-making. When you listen more and speak less, you set yourself apart from those who are quick to voice opinions without deep thought. This restraint is a sign of strength, not weakness, and it commands respect in all areas of life. Furthermore, the practice of silence helps us reflect on our inner state and emotions. This is crucial in the modern world, where many men are expected to suppress their feelings rather than reflect on them. Instead of rushing to respond to every stimulus or challenge, Stoicism encourages you to take a step back, analyze your thoughts, and ask yourself whether your reaction aligns with your values. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This simple yet profound quote reminds us that in silence and reflection, we gain control over our responses, which can make all the difference in how we navigate life's challenges. In a practical sense, embracing silence can also help you de-escalate conflicts. Imagine a scenario where a disagreement arises, whether it's in your workplace, at home, or among friends. Instead of engaging in an argument immediately, taking a moment of silence to gather your thoughts allows you to approach the situation with a calm and rational mindset. This reflection gives you the power to communicate effectively and resolve issues without unnecessary drama or emotional outbursts. The ability to pause and reflect creates a buffer between impulse and action, and this discipline will serve you well in both professional and personal settings. Moreover, silence offers you the space for personal introspection. In today's world, where we are constantly bombarded by external noise, social media, news, entertainment, it becomes easy to lose touch with our inner selves. Taking time to reflect in silence, perhaps through meditation or a quiet walk, allows you to check in with your deeper thoughts and feelings. It provides an opportunity to assess whether you're living in alignment with your values or simply reacting to the external pressures of modern life. This reflective practice is key to living a life of purpose rather than one dictated by fleeting distractions. Marcus Aurelius practiced this daily reflection, writing in his journal as a way to center himself and prepare for the day's challenges, and this habit remains as useful today as it was during his reign. In modern life, especially for men aged 40 to 70, the benefits of silence and reflection become even more apparent. At this stage of life, many face significant transitions, whether it's in careers, relationships, or personal development. Embracing a stoic mindset of listening more and speaking less can help you navigate these changes with grace and confidence. Instead of being swept up in the noise of others' opinions or societal expectations, Stoicism teaches you to pause, reflect, and act with intention. This shift from reactive to proactive living can bring clarity and peace, allowing you to focus on what truly matters in your life. As the Stoics believed, the practice of silence is not just about withholding words, but about creating the space for true understanding and purposeful action. By adopting this philosophy, you gain the respect of others and strengthen your relationships as your words and actions carry more weight. It's in this quiet strength that you will find true power, both within yourself and in your interactions with the world. Remember the words of Epictetus: "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." By practicing this simple yet profound advice, you can unlock a deeper level of understanding, self-control, and respect from those around you, helping you lead a more intentional and fulfilling life, grounded in the principles of Stoicism and personal mastery. Five, embrace impermanence. Life is constantly changing, and nothing stays the same forever. One of the core teachings of Stoicism is to embrace the impermanence of everything around us. When you accept that life is full of transitions and temporary states, you open yourself to living with a sense of greater freedom and peace. By doing this, you learn to appreciate each moment as it comes, instead of worrying about what might change or disappear. This mindset is particularly liberating because it frees you from becoming overly attached to material possessions or outcomes, both of which are fleeting. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. When you understand that everything, from your wealth to your health, your relationships, and even your achievements, is temporary, you become more resilient to life's inevitable ups and downs. Instead of fearing change or loss, you begin to see them as natural parts of life's flow, which can help you adapt more easily to whatever challenges or surprises come your way. Think about how much time we spend holding on to things, whether it's a job, a relationship, or a certain status, fearing what might happen if we lose them. But what if instead of fearing change, we embraced it? Take, for example, the story of a man who, after years of working in a corporate job, was suddenly laid off. At first, the loss seemed devastating. His identity had been tied to his career, and the fear of financial insecurity consumed him. But as time passed, he realized that this event was an opportunity. He began pursuing his passion for woodworking, which he had neglected for decades. Not only did he find personal fulfillment, but he also turned his hobby into a thriving business. What this man discovered was that his career, like everything else in life, was temporary. Losing it wasn't the end, it was the beginning of something new. This illustrates how accepting impermanence can help you see opportunities in what might initially appear as setbacks. So ask yourself, what are you holding on to right now that might be keeping you from growing? What if you viewed change not as something to be feared, but as a gateway to new possibilities? The Stoic approach to impermanence encourages us to live in the present, fully experiencing each moment without clinging to the past or anxiously awaiting the future. In modern life, this can be especially important. We live in a world that is obsessed with acquisition, whether it's money, possessions, or even accolades. But these things can disappear just as quickly as they came. Stoicism teaches that by not becoming attached to these transient things, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering. This doesn't mean you shouldn't work hard or appreciate the things you have, but rather that you should recognize they are not permanent and that your happiness should not depend on them. For example, consider how people often chase promotions or material possessions, thinking they will bring lasting happiness, only to find that the satisfaction is short-lived. By understanding the temporary nature of all things, you can learn to derive contentment from within, regardless of external circumstances. One of the most powerful lessons Stoicism offers is that nothing in life is guaranteed, except for change. Instead of resisting this truth, we should welcome it. This doesn't mean we won't experience loss or hardship. But by embracing impermanence, we can approach these events with a mindset that is prepared and resilient. Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Wasting time often comes from dwelling too much on what we cannot control or what we might lose. But when we realize that life is a series of moments, each one temporary, we start to focus more on living fully in the present. You begin to cherish the moments with loved ones, take pleasure in your daily experiences, and let go of the fear that comes with clinging to the idea of permanence. The next time you're faced with uncertainty or change, instead of viewing it as a threat, see it as a reminder of life's impermanence and an opportunity for growth. Whether it's a career change, a shift in your personal life, or something as simple as a change in your daily routine, use it as a chance to practice adaptability. Life is dynamic, and so are you. By embracing this reality, you build emotional resilience and adaptability, qualities that will serve you well throughout your life. Consider how much more peaceful your life could be if you approached each day with the understanding that nothing lasts forever. When you stop holding on so tightly to what you think you need, you create space for new experiences, growth, and ultimately, freedom. In conclusion, the lesson of impermanence teaches us that nothing is truly ours to keep, and that's okay. By releasing attachments to what we have or what we think we should achieve, we unlock a sense of freedom that allows us to live with less anxiety and more appreciation for what's right in front of us. Marcus Aurelius, a champion of Stoic philosophy, reminds us that loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight. If you learn to embrace the impermanent nature of life, you will not only find peace in uncertainty, but also resilience in the face of adversity. This mindset prepares you for the constant changes life throws your way, helping you navigate them with grace, wisdom, and inner strength. So, how can you start today? What are the things in your life that you need to loosen your grip on, and what new opportunities might come from letting go? The beauty of life lies in its transience. Embrace it, and you will find true freedom. Six, letting go of control. One of the central principles of Stoicism is the understanding that while we have control over our actions, reactions, and thoughts, the external world is beyond our grasp. This distinction between what is within our control and what is not is essential for navigating life's inevitable ups and downs with a sense of calm and resilience. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus captured this beautifully when he said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This simple but profound statement is a reminder that our true power lies not in trying to bend the world to our will, but in mastering our internal responses to whatever life throws at us. When we let go of the illusion of control over external events, we free ourselves from the anxiety and frustration that come from trying to manage the unmanageable, allowing us to focus our energy where it can actually make a difference on our actions and attitudes. In today's fast-paced modern world, this lesson is more relevant than ever. We are surrounded by constant change, uncertainty, and external pressures, from economic fluctuations to global crises to personal challenges in our careers and relationships. Often, we find ourselves stressed and overwhelmed because we're trying to control things that are fundamentally outside of our influence. Maybe it's the behavior of others, the outcome of a project at work, or even the uncontrollable aspects of aging or health. Yet, by recognizing that these things are beyond our control, we can shift our focus inward to our thoughts, our decisions, and our behaviors, areas where we truly have agency. This shift in perspective is empowering. It liberates us from the constant struggle against reality and enables us to live with greater peace, accepting what is while taking purposeful action where it counts. Imagine you're working on an important project at your job, and despite all your best efforts, unforeseen circumstances, such as a shift in company direction or economic factors, threaten its success. Naturally, your instinct might be to try to control these external variables or obsess over the potential outcomes, causing you stress and anxiety. However, if you approach the situation through a stoic lens, you will remind yourself that the external factors are beyond your control. What you can control, however, is your dedication to the work, your ability to adapt, and your response to the challenges. By letting go of the need to control the outcome, you can focus on doing your best work and accepting whatever results come. This mindset doesn't mean you don't care about the outcome. Rather, it allows you to care without becoming paralyzed by fear or frustration over factors you cannot change. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reflected on this concept, noting, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This wisdom speaks directly to the heart of modern life, where we often become consumed by things like the opinions of others, societal expectations, or the unpredictability of circumstances beyond our control. But imagine how much more peaceful life would be if we focused only on what we can control, our thoughts, our actions, and our choices, and accepted everything else as part of the natural ebb and flow of existence. This approach doesn't imply passivity or inaction, but rather a deliberate and focused way of living that reduces unnecessary stress and increases our ability to handle life's challenges with grace. In personal relationships, this principle is equally valuable. We often try to control how others behave, what they think of us, or how they react in certain situations. But Stoicism teaches that other people's actions and reactions are not within our control. This understanding allows us to let go of the need to manage others and instead focus on our own behavior, how we communicate, how we show empathy, and how we react to situations. By doing so, we create healthier, more respectful relationships, free from the frustration that comes from trying to control what is inherently uncontrollable. Letting go of control also applies to the broader uncertainties of life, such as health, aging, and even mortality. These are realities that every person must face, yet many of us spend our lives trying to resist or deny them. The Stoics, however, taught that embracing the impermanence of life is key to living fully in the present. Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." So much of that waste comes from worrying about things we cannot control, the passage of time, the inevitability of loss, or the unpredictability of the future. By accepting these facts of life, we free ourselves to live with more intention and focus on what truly matters, how we spend our time, how we treat others, and how we cultivate inner peace. This acceptance allows us to engage with life more fully without the constant burden of fearing what is to come. The concept of letting go of control is not about giving up or becoming passive. It's about recognizing where our power lies. It's about understanding that while we can't control what happens to us, we can always control how we respond. This mental shift can be a powerful tool in both personal and professional settings. For example, if you're a business owner facing a downturn, Instead of being consumed by stress over market conditions you cannot control, focus on what you can do, innovate, strategize, and maintain a positive attitude. Or if you're dealing with a difficult family dynamic, rather than trying to change others' behavior, concentrate on how you can approach the situation with empathy, patience, and clarity. This approach not only reduces your own stress, but often leads to better outcomes, because your actions are rooted in calmness and intention rather than fear and reaction. In conclusion, the Stoic principle of letting go of control offers profound wisdom for navigating life's complexities with grace and strength. By focusing on what we can control, our actions, our reactions, and our mindset, and letting go of what we cannot, we cultivate resilience, peace, and a deeper sense of purpose. This approach encourages us to live fully in the present, make better decisions, and build stronger relationships based on respect rather than control. So, as you move through life, ask yourself, what areas of your life are you trying to control that are ultimately outside of your influence? How might your life change if you focused instead on mastering your own thoughts and actions? The Stoics teach us that true freedom comes not from controlling the world around us, but from mastering the world within us. Seven, humility and learning. Stoicism teaches us that true strength doesn't come from arrogance or an inflated sense of self, but from humility. Humility means recognizing your limitations, understanding that you don't have all the answers, and embracing the opportunity to learn and grow throughout your life. For men aged 40 to 70, this lesson is especially important. By this point, many have accumulated a wealth of experience, achieved significant success, and navigated numerous challenges. But as the Stoics remind us, there's always more to learn, and true wisdom comes from acknowledging that we are perpetual students of life. Epictetus once said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." This powerful quote reinforces the idea that real growth comes from an open mind and a willingness to admit that there's always room for improvement. In humility, we find strength because it pushes us to continue evolving, adapting, and improving ourselves. In the modern world, humility often takes a back seat to the relentless pursuit of success and recognition. But even in moments of achievement, it's crucial to remember that success isn't solely the result of your own efforts. There are always external factors, whether it's the guidance of a mentor, the support of a team, or simply the right circumstances, that contribute to your achievements. Marcus Aurelius, in his meditations on Stoicism, frequently reminded himself to stay humble even as the most powerful man in the Roman Empire. He once wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." His words serve as a reminder to keep perspective, no matter how accomplished we become. The key to living well, according to Marcus Aurelius and the teachings of Stoicism, is not in boasting of what you've done, but in recognizing the forces that helped you get there and remaining grateful for them. A modern example of humility and learning can be found in the lives of those who, despite reaching the pinnacle of their careers, continually seek growth and improvement. Take the story of a CEO who, after building a successful company, realized that the next phase of growth required skills he didn't yet possess. Instead of clinging to his authority and pretending to know it all, he sought out advice, hired experts in areas where he lacked experience, and admitted to his employees that he too was still learning. This humility not only led to further success for his company, but also earned him the respect and loyalty of his team. Humility in this case wasn't a sign of weakness, but a profound strength that allowed him to grow beyond his current limits. It's a lesson for all of us, especially men who are at a point in life where they may feel they've arrived at a certain level of knowledge or expertise. There's always room to improve, to listen more, and to learn from those around you, regardless of their age or experience. Moreover, humility fosters gratitude, a virtue that is often overlooked but is central to Stoic philosophy. By acknowledging that success isn't entirely our own doing, we cultivate a sense of appreciation for the people and circumstances that have helped us along the way. Seneca, another great Stoic, once said, "Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart." When we practice gratitude, we not only honor those who've supported us, but we also shift our mindset from entitlement to appreciation. This can transform the way we interact with others, making us more compassionate, more willing to help, and less driven by ego. In personal relationships, for example, humility helps us recognize that we're not always right, and that the perspectives of others are just as valuable as our own. It allows us to admit when we've made mistakes and to ask for forgiveness, which strengthens bonds and fosters mutual respect. In today's society, where the pressure to succeed can sometimes lead to an overinflated sense of self, humility is an antidote to arrogance. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that success equates to superiority, but Stoicism teaches that true success is measured by your ability to remain grounded no matter how high you climb. The most respected leaders, mentors, and friends are those who, despite their achievements, remain approachable, humble, and eager to continue learning. This humility is what makes people want to follow them, trust them, and grow with them. It's what makes a father a great role model to his children, a boss an inspiring leader to his employees, and a friend a source of support during difficult times. As you continue on your own journey, whether in your career, personal life, or even your own philosophical pursuits, consider the value of humility. How often do you take the time to reflect on your limitations and areas for improvement? Are you open to learning from others, even if they are younger or less experienced than you? Stoicism reminds us that knowledge is not a destination, but a journey. Humility keeps us on that path, ensuring that we never stop growing. When you embrace this mindset, you'll find that it brings not only personal growth, but also deeper connections with others and a greater sense of fulfillment. Ultimately, the lesson here is that humility is a cornerstone of both personal and professional development. It's about knowing when to step back and listen, when to ask for help, and when to acknowledge that your successes are intertwined with the support and guidance of others. By embodying humility, you open yourself up to endless opportunities for learning, growth, and self-improvement. So, as you move forward, keep the words of Marcus Aurelius close. The pride that leads you to believe you're invincible is the very thing that makes you vulnerable. Let these words guide you as you strive for excellence, not through arrogance, but through the quiet strength of humility. Eight, strategic restraint. The ability to pause, reflect, and choose how and when to act is a cornerstone of living wisely, a key lesson deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy. For many of us, life throws situations at us that can easily provoke impulsive reactions, whether it's a frustrating comment from a colleague, a misunderstanding with a loved one, or even a moment of road rage. But instead of immediately acting on those raw emotions, the Stoics teach us the importance of restraint. True strength lies not in reacting instantly, but in mastering the art of pausing, evaluating the situation, and then making a deliberate decision. As Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This principle is particularly relevant in our modern world, where everything seems to demand an immediate response. By practicing restraint, you gain control over your actions and can make more thoughtful, intentional choices, leading to better outcomes. Think about how often in today's world we are encouraged to act quickly, whether it's responding to an email, reacting to social media, or making split-second decisions in a high-stress environment. We're told that faster is better, that immediate action is a sign of decisiveness and power. But Stoicism flips that narrative. Instead, it tells us that real power comes from the ability to wait, to hold back until we've thought things through. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, reminds us, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." In other words, don't rush to retaliate or respond in anger. Show restraint, and in doing so, you demonstrate true wisdom and strength. When we react impulsively, we give away our power. But when we pause, we reclaim control over the situation and our emotions. Let's consider a modern-day example. Say you receive an email at work that feels unfair or accusatory. Your immediate reaction might be to fire back a defensive response, explaining why the other person is wrong. But if you step back, take a deep breath, and give yourself time to reflect, you may see the bigger picture. Maybe the other person was having a tough day, or perhaps there's a misunderstanding that can be resolved more calmly. By pausing, you're able to craft a response that is not only more thoughtful, but also more likely to lead to a positive resolution. This strategic restraint can make all the difference, whether in your personal or professional life. It shows that you're in control, not just of the situation, but of yourself, your emotions, your words, and your actions. Stoic restraint isn't about passivity or avoidance. It's about choosing the right moment to act, and sometimes the right action is no action at all. This is not a sign of weakness, but rather a profound demonstration of inner strength. In a world where people often speak before thinking or act without considering the consequences, those who exercise restraint stand out. They are the ones who others turn to for advice, who are respected for their calm demeanor and wise decision-making. In fact, consider how much more trust and respect you gain from others when you're known for your ability to stay calm under pressure, rather than being reactive or impulsive. This lesson also applies to how we handle our personal goals and desires. In today's culture of instant gratification, we're often tempted to chase short-term rewards at the expense of long-term success. Whether it's overspending on things we don't need, indulging in unhealthy habits, or giving up on a difficult project because it takes too long, we're constantly faced with opportunities to act impulsively. But Stoicism teaches us that restraint, waiting, holding back, and thinking long-term, leads to a more meaningful and fulfilling life. Strategic restraint is about playing the long game, not succumbing to the temptation of immediate pleasures or easy wins, but focusing on what truly matters over time. As Seneca wisely put it, "He who is brave is free." In this sense, bravery isn't rushing headlong into action, but having the courage to wait and act with intention. In your daily life, there are countless opportunities to practice strategic restraint. Whether it's in your relationships, your career, or your personal ambitions, taking the time to pause and reflect before acting can significantly improve your outcomes. For example, in your relationships, choosing to listen and reflect before responding during a disagreement can prevent unnecessary conflict and foster deeper understanding. At work, when faced with difficult decisions, showing restraint allows you to gather more information, weigh your options, and make choices that align with your values rather than reacting under pressure. And in your personal development, restraint helps you avoid distractions and stay focused on your larger goals. In the end, the value of strategic restraint is clear. It's about mastering the art of self-control and making choices that serve your long-term well-being rather than simply reacting to every moment as it comes. By practicing this discipline, you align yourself with the Stoic ideal of living wisely and intentionally, making decisions that are thoughtful, deliberate, and grounded in what truly matters. Nine, detachment from outcomes. In Stoicism, the concept of detachment from outcomes is foundational for cultivating inner peace and maintaining emotional balance. Life is full of uncertainties, and the Stoics recognize that while we can control our actions, we cannot control the results of those actions. This realization is freeing because it shifts our focus from stressing over things beyond our influence to mastering the one thing we can control, our own behavior. Epictetus's wisdom, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens," reminds us that our efforts matter more than the outcomes, which are often subject to forces we can't predict or command. By embracing this mindset, you learn to act as if you have nothing to lose, fully investing yourself in the process rather than becoming fixated on the result. This philosophy holds profound relevance in modern life, where success is often measured by external achievements, whether it's landing a promotion, reaching a financial goal, or even gaining recognition from others. In our fast-paced society, we are constantly pressured to produce results, to measure our worth by what we accomplish. However, Stoicism offers an alternative path by teaching us that it is not the outcome, but our dedication to doing our best that truly matters. Consider a situation where you've poured your heart into a project at work, only to see it fall short of expectations. It's natural to feel frustration or disappointment in such moments, but the Stoic approach encourages you to pause and reflect. In essence, Stoicism encourages a shift from outcome-based thinking to process-based thinking. When you focus solely on the outcome, the fear of failure often paralyzes you, making it difficult to take bold steps or pursue meaningful goals. But when you're detached from the result, you're free to act with courage, knowing that the only thing that truly matters is giving your best effort. This mindset encourages a sense of calm resilience, allowing you to take risks without being weighed down by the fear of what might happen if things don't go as planned. As Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." His words remind us that the real strength comes from mastering our own thoughts and responses, not from trying to control everything around us. Detachment from outcomes doesn't mean you stop caring about success. It means you don't let success or failure control your emotional state. It's about finding balance, where you put your energy into your actions, but remain at peace with whatever happens next. For example, an athlete may train tirelessly for a competition, but once the race starts, the outcome is no longer in their hands. They can only control their performance. The outcome, whether they win or lose, depends on countless factors, many of which are beyond their control. The same principle applies to all areas of life. Whether it's a job interview, a financial investment, or even a relationship, you can only control what you bring to the table, not how others respond or the circumstances that unfold. This mindset also brings a sense of clarity and purpose. When you focus on the process rather than the outcome, you allow yourself to fully engage in the present moment. You stop obsessing over future results and start enjoying the journey. How often do we miss out on the richness of the present because we're too busy worrying about what's to come? Detaching from the outcome helps you live with more mindfulness, giving you the freedom to appreciate each step you take, regardless of where it leads. This shift in focus not only makes you more effective in your actions, but also brings a deeper sense of fulfillment, because your sense of achievement is no longer tied to external validation, but to the effort and intention behind your actions. Imagine how liberating it would be to pursue your goals without the constant fear of failure or the need for external approval. When you act as if you have nothing to lose, you approach life with greater confidence and a deeper sense of purpose. You become less concerned with what others think or how they might judge your efforts, and more focused on what truly matters: your own growth, your own progress. In this way, Stoicism teaches us that the real victory lies not in the outcome, but in the ability to remain steadfast, to keep moving forward regardless of the results. How often do we let our happiness hinge on things we can't control, like the approval of others or the success of a specific venture? What if we could let go of those external measures and instead focus on the effort we bring to each moment? Detaching from outcomes is a powerful Stoic lesson that allows you to live with greater freedom, resilience, and peace. By focusing on what you can control, your actions, your mindset, and your dedication to the process, you liberate yourself from the anxiety that often accompanies uncertainty. Whether in your career, relationships, or personal endeavors, this principle helps you remain grounded, allowing you to navigate life's challenges with a calm, focused mind. So next time you find yourself stressing over an outcome, remember the wisdom of the Stoics. Do your best and let go of the rest. In this, you'll find both peace and strength, knowing that your worth is not tied to any specific result, but lies in the effort you bring to every situation. The power of acceptance. One of the most transformative lessons in Stoicism is the power of acceptance, learning to face reality as it is, rather than how we wish it to be. This concept, referred to by the Stoics as amor fati, or love of fate, teaches us to embrace every event in our lives, both the positive and the challenging, with equal openness. This is not about passive resignation, but about choosing to work in harmony with the circumstances we find ourselves in, rather than resisting them. Marcus Aurelius, in his timeless Meditations, wrote, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart." These words remind us that acceptance is an active process, one in which we acknowledge life's unpredictability and make the conscious decision to face it head-on, as if we have nothing to lose. In modern life, this lesson is particularly relevant as we navigate circumstances that often feel out of our control, whether it's dealing with a health issue, a sudden job loss, or the unexpected end of a relationship. These are the moments that test our emotional resilience and force us to confront the limits of our control. Stoicism teaches us that by accepting these events, we free ourselves from the weight of denial, frustration, or regret. Rather than dwelling on what should have been or what could have happened differently, we focus our energy on how to move forward. Take, for instance, a person who loses their job after many years in a particular role. It's easy to feel defeated, overwhelmed, or even angry in such situations. However, by embracing acceptance, they can reframe this event as an opportunity, a chance to pivot into a new field, start a long-desired project, or even reassess their priorities in life. Acceptance provides the mental clarity to adapt and look for new doors opening, even when one has just closed. The practice of acceptance also helps build emotional resilience. When you act as though you have nothing to lose, you're no longer attached to outcomes beyond your control. You become less concerned with what might go wrong and more focused on what you can do right now. This mindset allows you to remain calm and grounded in the face of uncertainty, It fosters a sense of inner peace because you're not constantly at war with the reality of your situation. The beauty of amor fati is that it invites you to love everything that happens, even the challenges, because they are part of your unique journey. It's a shift in perspective, from seeing adversity as an enemy to embracing it as a teacher. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." This means that the very difficulties we face are what shape us, helping us grow stronger and wiser. In today's fast-paced and often chaotic world, it can feel like we're constantly battling circumstances that we can't control, whether it's the economy, personal relationships, or societal expectations. But Stoicism reminds us that while we cannot control external events, we always have control over how we choose to respond. The power of acceptance lies in this truth, that our real power is internal. When we stop resisting reality and start working with it, we open ourselves up to new possibilities and reduce unnecessary suffering. Consider the example of a man who faces a health diagnosis that significantly alters his life. He could spend years resisting, lamenting his fate, and wishing things were different. But this mindset would only create additional suffering. However, by embracing acceptance, he can focus on living fully within the new boundaries of his life, finding purpose and joy in ways he hadn't previously imagined. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up on improving your situation. It means acknowledging where you are and then making the best possible choices from that position. It's about taking control of your own narrative rather than letting circumstances define you. In this sense, amor fati empowers you to pivot with grace and intention, allowing you to face life's inevitable ups and downs without being consumed by frustration or despair. How often do we waste precious time wishing things were different instead of focusing on what we can do with the circumstances we've been given? What would your life look like if you fully accepted each situation as an opportunity for growth rather than a setback? The wisdom of Stoicism, especially through the teachings of Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, encourages us to embrace the power of acceptance. This doesn't mean accepting a passive role in life, but rather choosing to respond to challenges with intention and wisdom. Acceptance allows you to face life with a sense of calm and resilience, recognizing that every twist and turn is part of your journey. By learning to accept life as it unfolds, and by acting as though you have nothing to lose, you can approach each day with clarity and purpose, unburdened by what you can't control. The next time you're faced with an unexpected challenge, ask yourself, how can I use this moment to grow, and what would change if I fully accepted it as part of my path? By doing so, you will discover the immense freedom that comes from letting go of resistance and embracing life exactly as it is. In this video, we explored powerful Stoic lessons that can transform your approach to life. Lessons like letting go of external validation, embracing quiet strength, conquering the fear of failure, and practicing strategic restraint. We discussed the importance of accepting impermanence, relinquishing control over things beyond our reach, and embracing humility to continuously grow and learn. These timeless Stoic principles empower you to live with greater confidence, peace, and resilience. Now, it's your turn to take these lessons and apply them to your daily life. How can you begin to detach from external opinions or act with more intentionality today? Let us know in the comments below. Your thoughts could inspire someone else on their Stoic journey. And if you found value in this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on how Stoicism can guide you toward a more fulfilling life.